camera there and a camera there.
This is what it's like to be like running like a pro here, I guess. So hope everybody's doing great. It's been a really busy month for us. Month of August has been crazy. We've been all over the place. We've been in Alabama. We've been we were up in Ohio just a little while before that, right at the end of July, and so we've been everywhere.
And we've had a lot of birthdays.
So a lot of things going on. It's definitely been stretching us, definitely been growing us. I've been having to figure out how to structure all these different projects and things I'm involved in to try to figure out a really, good way of handling it, good order of handling it. And also I've actually been building a PC, or rather my little brother Garrett has been working on building a PC. So props to Garrett. I started doing the research, started working with it. We were going to do it together. He kind of needed to know that somebody was in it with him before he was just going to take off. But then after it was all said and done, he was loving the research and enjoying it. And so he got really into it. He figured out the best prices for everything. He really figured stuff out, and I was impressed. I was like, well, dang, Garrett, all I did was figure out what processor we really needed. From there, you took everything and you knew what you were doing, which I was really glad. So that was our camera's getting a little messed up by the sunlight here all of a sudden. So let's see if I can fix it.
We're bright and
shiny.
I know,
we're glowing again. I don't know. Hopefully it'll fix itself here. Anyway, if not, you're just going to have to look at our super bright faces. And that's not for you guys or you guys, that's for these guys. So anyway, it's been a really cool process. Going to Alabama was awesome. We were there for see there, if I get in close enough, that might fix it. I'm still over there. Okay, cool. We were there in Alabama for a homeschool business conference that was run by Ray Perry, and it was good for everything, not just homeschoolers, for anybody who wants to start an entrepreneurial pursuits and going into really having freedom for themselves and for their family, live the life that they want to live, and not just be stuck with the grind and not being able to get anywhere financially. So it was an awesome conference. Picked up and learned a lot. We were there with my friend Brandy, Fedora Drummer, on YouTube and on Instagram. We had a great time. We learned a lot there, so much. I've mentioned some things on the previous live and whatnot, but I want to recap and bring it back up again for anybody who hasn't seen it and anybody just coming on here, and also just to accentuate that really, every time we go to one of Ray Perry's conferences like that, one of the homeschool business conferences, it always just amps us up, where we start understanding what it is we really need to be doing.
And get a lot of ideas.
Yeah, we get a lot of ideas, and it's always like a shot in the arm to get back on track with what we're moving toward and our vision and what it is that we are, planning on doing all together. And always helps us to really, see what we're supposed to do, because the action steps and because of the practical things that, that Ray is so good at giving people. So it was a great time. It's been a great month. It's been challenging too, because so much going on and so many things. And it's also been a time of a lot of family healing too, and repairing relationships and things that have been, I'm having to move in here on this camera. But yeah.
All right, Clouds.
Yeah, come on, Clouds, stop playing with us. So anyway, so it's been a time.
Garrett went to that too. The way she structures the business conferences, the whole family can come.
Yeah.
Younger children. Garrett's 15,
mm-hmm.
and Morgan 18. He went too, and they got a lot of ideas. I think that's part of his motivation to get that computer figured
Rick.
out.
Rick's over on the IG camera.
Oh. We're everywhere. We're
everywhere. Oh, there's a Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. So this is this mostly on this show, aside from just catching guys up, kind of a vlog and what's going on in our lives. I wanted to kind of impart some of what's been coming to me in this time, and just understanding the need to really, like the title I've generated here on the Facebook Live one, spontaneous motivation, being motivated now in the present and moving on it, not waiting for a better, a more what would seem a more fortuitous time to get started. And the reality is now is always the best time to get started. You know, not now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean you get started right smack in the middle of everything or at the end of everything. You don't start thinking that you're already going to be able to do a perfect product, you know, have a perfect day or whatever, but you decide that today is going to be a better day than yesterday. You decide that you're setting a foundation, you're preparing and you're putting stuff together, you're structuring stuff together to really go in the direction you're wanting to go with your life. Today is a fresh slate if you want it to be. And you can decide, you know, do I really like where I've been going? Do I really like the pattern of my days of where this has been taking me? You can break out of that and you can say, okay, what do I really want my days to be looking like? How do I want things to really be moving forward? Like, you know, people say all the time that, you know, you need to schedule things, and that seems to be, you know, like the common knowledge. Yet for some reason, we don't really do it. For some reason, we only schedule things that we have to. And then the things that we don't have to, that we don't have a fire under our feet to do it, we don't really schedule it and we don't really stick to it. But time, you have to make it work for you. You can't just be fighting against it all the time. You got to make it work for you. You got to take it as an asset, as a resource that you've been given, and not just assume that you don't have control over your time. You know, that's a big mistake to think that you just have to go with, you know, whatever is happening, whatever's going on, that you can't somehow adjust, you can't somehow come up with something better.
The thing is not to get stuck.
Yeah. You don't accept being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the thing. That's the biggest thing.
Get unstuck. Unstick yourself.
You can get unstuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the biggest thing of all. One of the greatest problems that we have these days is victimhood. Is people just believing that, well, because this is how my life has gone, this is what my past was like, or, you know, because I'm born of this race, or I was born out of this neighborhood or county, or, you know, just whatever the case may be, or just this is how it's been so long, and these are how my relationships are, you know, whatever.
Reasons or excuses.
Reasons or excuses, however you want to look at it.
There might be real legitimate reasons.
There very well might be.
They can still be overcome.
Exactly. Challenges, we don't have to run away from them. We have to learn. You know, some of them, I mean, they're not legitimate challenges. Some of them, they're not legitimate things in our lives, and we do need to see when it's something that we can just walk away, because it doesn't have to define us, and it doesn't have to be a consistent part of our life. We don't have to let that always be there. But with some of the other things that are, you know, just legitimately challenging, like certain family relationships. Hi, Deborah Thomas. You know, those things. We need to embrace the challenge and realize that challenges, their real role, their real purpose is to help you become creative. Their real purpose is to drive you into creativity. And, you know, to be creative, you have to be positive. So there's no creativity in a negative point of view, you know, in a negative mindset. You can't be creative and negative. You have to be entering into a positive space. Now, don't get me wrong, some creativity can be about kind of negative subjects and can be about kind of dark things, but the creativity is the light in that darkness. The creativity is that part that says, even though things might feel this way or seem this way or whatever, there's a silver line. There's something here that I'm working through. There's something in some way that I'm finding something to take out of this whole situation. There's something I'm taking and I'm drawing from. So, you know, motivation is not something that we get to say, you know, well, I feel motivated today. Motivation is something that we have to pull out of ourselves and out of our circumstances, and it's something that we have to take the time. I mean, you really do have to take the time to get motivated.
You have to be intentional about it.
You do.
have to like think, oh, I'm not feeling it today.
Right.
And then you just pull yourself up by the scruff of your neck and say, get busy. Another purpose of challenges and problems is making you stronger and developing your character. And there is a reason for the things that come against us, and we can use them to our advantage and to make us better people.
Absolutely.
We're like who we're supposed to be.
We're glowing again over here. Sorry, guys, over there. We keep on having to lean forward to get this camera to adjust.
Should have put the blind down.
I know, right? That might have been a good idea. But it was too dark before, so what are you going to do? But anyway, yeah.
Here in Texas, the sun plays tricks.
Demara Thomas said, challenges make us better. Pain teaches us lessons. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does. You know, we are made better. It is important to embrace challenge, to embrace the process. You
Not
know,
just try to escape.
learn to love the
or
whole construction of life, not just the easy parts, not just the comfortable parts. Don't just live for those moments that it's easy. Live for the moments that it's hard too, because it's hard, but we're going through that together. We're going through that challenge together. It's building up who we are and building up our relationships, and that's what makes it worthwhile. I can tell you straightforward that some of the best memories I have are going through serious hardship, grueling pain that I went through with someone that I loved, that I cared about, whether it was family or a friend. You know, like some of the most recent stuff was like when I was going with my friend Jordan, who came down from Ohio, and we helped out during Hurricane Harvey, went way out past Baytown out here in Houston, and we went through some serious discomfort. We had some serious stuff going on there. You know, we went out on the water for a little bit, but you know what? I remember that so well, and it's funny now, and it's such a great bonding time between us. Another time recently, I went with my friend Brandy again up to Crockett, Texas, and it was a crazy, after Davy Crockett, there was a music festival going on there. It was a crazy weather day. Started out hot, then it became freezing. It was so cold, we had to go to a Family Dollar that was nearby in this little town, find some cheap long sleeve stuff to try to just keep ourselves warm. And then we were sitting there freezing, trying to support the local band there, Wishbone. Shout out to them. We were, you know, it was a good time. It was a great time. We were freezing to death, but after it was all said and done and we got through the concert, you know, we really felt accomplished because we went through all of that, and it really brought us close together, and it was such a meaningful time. And you know, we were out there and we just danced out there in the street. I'd never even danced before. We did some Latin dance stuff, and we just did it out there in the street. And you know, that's face that discomfort of, all right, and put on display in front of everybody. Why not do something I've never done before? So
I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, should have had video or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's so much in life that it's what you make of it. You know, it's back to the Shakespearean quote, there's nothing good or bad, but that thinking makes it so. There's so much that even what seems like limitations are actually creative constraints, and they're actually, rather than being like walls that hold you in, they're an axis point. They're a point of reference for you to move from and work from. And so, you know, motivation is totally a matter of perspective. You know, we are affected. Our perspective is affected by our feelings. It is affected by what's going on in our immediate vicinity, but is not conditional on circumstances. No. It's something that comes from within us. And sometimes if you can't be motivated, sometimes it is because you're not taking good enough care of yourself. You know, you're not filling your life up enough with the things that you really love.
And sometimes you need to go to a friend and say, I'm not motivated today.
Yes, that is a very important point. That's something I've been having to learn to do, and I admit in front of the whole world here, everywhere, that I have been very bad at getting help for myself, because I'm just my personality type.
You're always pouring out on other people.
I've always been pouring out on other people. I don't want to become other people's problems. Even though I don't see anybody else as a problem, my tendency is to see myself as a problem that I'm trying to make up for by doing enough good that eventually, you know, I don't have to worry about being banished from everybody's life for being too much of a problem. So I try to earn my way into being allowed to have a relationship with people and being allowed to exist on this planet as a worthwhile human being. That earning mentality, that really doesn't do a lot to motivate you in a positive way. You know, that's really kind of fearfully postured. And there are times that you need to draw deep from the strength of the relationships that you have and people that love you, that care about you, that want to see you succeed and want to see you be the best version of yourself.
Well, I had the inferiority thing going on where I didn't want to bother people. I didn't think they wanted to be bothered by me. So that's something I've really had to learn too, that I can go to someone and say, please pray for me, or I am just not feeling right. I will say to my husband, say some nice things about me.
You know, it feels like it's forced if you do that, but sometimes you just need to give people that kind of hint. Like, look, I don't feel good about myself right now, and I need you to please tell me something good about myself.
Yeah.
You know, don't be passive aggressive. Don't be trying to, but I need them to come up with
Give
it
them little
themselves
hints,
before they'll do
pick
it.
up the
Don't
hints and the
tear
clues.
yourself down hoping that they're going to build you back up or anything like that. Just come out and say the truth. You know, I'm feeling sad today. I'm having a hard time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And take the time. Really take the time to get your attitude right. Don't just rush forward in life and have a miserable day. Well, I got all this stuff done, but I hated my day, and now I hate my life and I hate myself. Don't do that.
It's a wasted day.
That is a wasted day. A day that isn't lived with joy, isn't lived to the fullest. It's not a full day. And then those things that you're just pouring yourself into, you're getting this tunnel vision, and you're not seeing the bigger picture, and you're not really seeing what's the worth in all of it. Like, the only thing that makes life worth living is having the ability to realize that it's worth living, having the ability to value it, to treasure it,
enjoy it.
Gratitude is the only thing in the world that can make life really beautiful, that can make life really wonderful. So we have to have the ability to focus on the good. Good is really more powerful than evil, but the one place in the world where it's not more powerful than evil is in our own mind, is in our own perspective.
Yeah.
If your perspective is looking at the bad in the world as if it outweighs and as if there's more to it than the good, then that's the problem. That's the big issue that's holding you back.
We're our own biggest problem.
Yeah, and that's the biggest drain on all motivation, is when you feel that evil is stronger than good. When your unconscious beliefs are saying you can't win, you can't win to lose. Things are just going to be bad. Doesn't it figure? This is how it always is for me. That kind of thinking, those kinds of verbiages, they put you in a negative and defensive posture where everything you're doing in life is just trying to be defensive and trying to think ahead for the bad things that are going to happen, instead of opening yourself up to the positive things and moving on them and proactively going towards them. So motivation, at the end of the day, we're responsible for it. And there are days that you do get lifted up and you do just feel really motivated, really energetic, really good. And those days you should just throw yourself into that, just all the way. Live it for all it's worth. Don't cruise, don't coast. Go in it wholeheartedly and study it. Study yourself. Examine it. Why am I so motivated today? What's energizing me like this? You want to replicate those circumstances. You want to try to pull on those conditions and learn from it and learn about yourself. So motivation, be motivated in this moment. Realize you can be. Realize you are a human being. You have free will. You have the ability to stir up motivation in yourself and even in others. You can inspire others. Sometimes the best motivation I've ever had was when I motivated somebody else.
Yeah.
And for me, for especially those of us that are givers, hi, Brandy, Fedora Drummer.
Hi, Fedora Drummer.
So a lot of times the best I have ever had of motivation was when I was really able to get somebody else up off the ground.
Yeah.
And when I was able to just give them a motivational speech, just start taking off like I was William Wallace in Braveheart, or like I was Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, or some other great speaker from a movie, or from any of the great speakers that have been in the past, any of the great dialogues and the monologues that have been given. That lifted me up every time. Like, that's done the job. So sometimes you need to talk to yourself like you're somebody else, and get in the mirror, or watch The Rock on doing an inspirational video, or find somebody else who needs encouragement. Even when you need encouragement, find somebody else who needs encouragement. Ask them how they're doing and start encouraging them. Get your eyes off your own despondency and not feeling energized. When you're energizing somebody else and they get energized back, it just, you realize that you have this power to motivate, and it comes back into you reflexively, and they're wanting to pour back into you too. So do rely on all the resources that you have around you. Realize that people around you want to be a resource to you. They want to help you feel better. It makes them feel better.
Yeah.
So get motivational, get motivated.
It's a win-win situation. It's better to give than to receive. That really works in so many.
Yeah, absolutely. There we are, turning all bleached out by the light again over here. This is, see, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect, okay? You know, like, it doesn't matter. There are some people that are going to expect that perfection, but who cares? Inverted. Yeah, I know. I can't get it fixed in that thing. I think
in the tripod.
Yeah, I don't know. It's what it does on that thing for some reason. But yeah, so anyway, this is what really life is about. You find the meaning in it. You find the worth and the value in it. It's something to be discovered. You discover that there is something wonderful in it. Oh, I got you. Power and unity is what you're saying. Yeah. And we are, you know, we're all a source of motivation to each other if we choose to be.
We should really take advantage of that. Like families who live together, and you know, you have easy access to, for parents when their children get older, especially, they can really have good conversations and really get
thank you,
motivation and
so I just kicked Tony Robbins' butt. I take that as a very big compliment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
Sean's gonna do it.
I'll get there.
He's got a great future.
I'll get there. We'll get there. We'll all get there.
But yeah, together.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And this is coming from a rugged individualist. Yeah. This is coming from somebody.
Me too.
I have been. Yeah, we both
got it from me.
We both are. We are so. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to go my own path. I'm not going to follow in somebody else's trend and do somebody else's thing. Yes.
We even do the style. I don't even want to do the style.
Yeah, we just want to do. We want to be ourselves, rugged individualists. But we realize something. We can be more who we are with the right people alongside us.
Yeah.
We can be better in who we are if we are built up with the people that really share the same vision, that really have the same heart, the same kindred spirit, and we can bring the best out of each other. So it's like sometimes the best of you is stuck in this shell, and somebody else can help you break that shell and let you really come into everything that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to deal with things alone.
Encourage you and cheer you on.
Absolutely, you know, so
call out the good things that they see in you.
Absolutely. So take the time and be an encourager, because the person who encourages gets encouraged. You know, the person who looks out and motivates is motivated. It's inevitable. Yes. You know, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're pouring it into somebody else, and that always comes back. Now, there are some things in life that you give and it doesn't always come back, but that is one of those things that it comes back. Yeah. You will get motivated when you're looking to motivate.
Kind of automatically start feeling better as you are.
And don't be too prideful to take help. Don't be too prideful to get help when you need it. That's important. That's very important, that you understand that it's pride and it's fear and it's insecurity that stops you from getting the help that you need and getting encouraged and getting motivated. And that it's also dehumanizing yourself when you don't think you can take the time to get your attitude elevated and get yourself motivated out of a pit. And if you think that you can't take a moment to brainstorm about your life and consider your direction, consider if you're really happy with where things are going, then that's a self-destructive cycle. That's self-sabotage, and you need to value yourself more. You got to choose to value yourself, and you got to choose to value your life, and you got to choose to value relationships. Understand, you're letting people love you when you are giving them the opening to help you. So you set and you define that your relationships are two-way.
You're taking charge of your life when you just decide, I'm not just going to stay this way, stay stuck. I'm just going to go for it and make myself do the things that I know I should be doing. And sometimes that is so hard, but that's when we really need to go to someone else and get some help from them.
Absolutely. And believe me, I am blasting this out from a place of entering very intense discomfort myself in doing this and beginning to live in this kind and make it a thing. So like, here's a practical thing. Here's a tactical thing. Take somebody that you have a good relationship with, somebody that whenever you talk, it's very synergistic, it's very life-giving. You know, it really, you both are encouraged, you both feel great. And, you know, a lot of times those are the people, for some reason, we don't talk to them for a month or 2 months or 3 months. And then we come back again and we're like, oh, you know, we're having such a good time talking together. Take that person, you know, make 5 of them. If you can think of 5 of them.
Hi, Stephanie.
Reach out to them. Hi, Stephanie. Reach out to them. and try to set up a weekly call or a weekly meeting in a Starbucks if they live there in your area or wherever, or at each other's home. Set up at least once a week. Talk and encourage each other and build each other up and talk about your dreams. Talking about your dreams is awesome. You need somebody you can talk with about your dreams, because that makes you dream further. That lets you dream bolder, because when you're by yourself, you limit yourself and you think, well, I can't really do this and I can't really do that. But when you get with somebody else, you get excited and you start saying things that would seem impossible alone, and now all of a sudden they seem possible. So take that, go with it, run with it, build yourself up, build up others. You define the life that you're living. You define this experience. You don't get to define reality, but you get to define your experience of it. Mm-hmm. You get to define your perspective and what you make of what life gives you.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's our spontaneous motivation for the day.
That's a great idea. Yeah, good advice.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate you putting up with the crazy camera work and everything else that's going on here. This is the first time we've ever worked on like 3 platforms at once.
Stephanie on Periscope.
The first time we've ever done this exactly. And again, this was totally spontaneous. Like, I literally didn't even have an idea what we were going to talk about, but I went with my gut, went with what I had inside of me. That's what motivation is. You know, this is a picture of how spontaneous motivation works. You just let it come out of you. This is how you are creative. Face the fear and the challenge of, but what am I going to say? You know, but where is this going to go? Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta love Periscope. Indeed, indeed. But anyway, that's it, guys. And for replay viewers, thanks so much for watching. Thanks everybody who was on the live videos and joined us here and commented. Appreciate you guys so much. Love y'all, and definitely let us know, you know, in comments and DMs and however you want to reach out to us in any way that to let us know what you thought, and if you want to see more of these. And we're going to try to probably put together some kind of subscriber list of, like, I don't know, Facebook Messenger, so that, you know, whenever we start doing this, you guys can get alerts and it will come to you directly whenever we're starting one of these up. And, you know, this is a little different, but we'll try to, you know, see if we can do all 3 platforms like this all the time and make this a thing, because everybody deserves to be in on it. You know, everybody should get the chance to chill with us, have a good time. But anyway, love y'all.
We are whole heart and soul. Whole
heart and soul, and that will be a podcast that's coming up, and I'm going to have that up on the Anchor platform. So definitely be sure to check that out.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.